We knew that Vince Coleman and Willie McGee would be here tonight. A special treat to see the Hall of Famer, Ozzie Smith. And everybody all smiles right now here at the ballpark.
There, Willie going to say hello to Nick Leyva and also Clint Hurdle, teammates. There, Joe Patini will bring out the lineup card tonight. And for the Pirates, it was their hitting coach, Bannister.
The throwback uniforms being worn of 1985. The NL champions, the Cardinals of 1985. And let's take a look at the lineup for Pittsburgh. Tabata, Presley, and McCutchen, then Domet, we saw as a pinch hitter, then stay in the game in Game 1. Walker, Jones, Harrison, Cedeno, and James McDonald hitting .087, the pitcher. And Jake Westbrook gets the start for St. Louis.
Kind of a tough season. In a lot of ways, you're kind of a little frustrated with him. But, you know, he is looking for his 11th win. He's got a very high ERA at home, over 6. And that shouldn't be for a ground ball pitcher. He's really had his problems with Pittsburgh. 0-3 personally. And his team is 0-7. We need to change that tonight.
Good to see that this is a big crowd for Willie McGee bobblehead night. And how about when we got to the ballpark around 2:30, 3 o'clock, they were lined up to get that bobblehead. Holiday, Craig, and Berkman in the outfield. Freeze for Cowell, Schumacher, and Pujols along the infield. And it's Westbrook and Molina, our Dobbs defense tonight.
When Willie and Vince were out there signing out there in the Ford Plaza, you know, I heard one gentleman said I got here at 6 a.m.
Is that right? That line was 1,000 deep, and only 200 to 250 people could get the autograph because they had to get him down here for the ceremonial first pitch. It was like opening day again as Willie went around the entire field, the back of a truck, waving to the fans. Nice standing ovation for Willie. It's 84 degrees, our game time temperature, and glad you're with us here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Tabata had his 10-game hitting streak stopped and a 17-game hitting streak against Cardinal pitching. He is 3 for 6 off of Westbrook.
And a 3-1 pitch to Tabata. This is in, not the way you want to start. Leadoff walk. Calling the balls and strikes tonight, Mike DeMuro. Tim Welke is at first, the crew chief. Andy Fletcher at second, and Jim Reynolds is down at third. Alex Presley, left fielder, hitting .326, 1 home run and 10 RBIs.
Came off the disabled list yesterday. They really like this young man. Tabata out in right field, Presley in left field, and then they got McCutchen, who's outstanding in center.
And here in the first inning, David Freese playing way in at third. Pujols holding, and a big gap in right center.
Kind of a slap hitter, so a lot of times they'll hit to the opposite field. You got to guard against the bunt or an infield variety hit. And Westbrook at times has had trouble with his command. Pirates are doing a lot of running this year. Have 90 steals on the season.
Why not? Nothing to lose, as Clint Hurdle would love to see this club finish 500 or better. Snap that losing skid at 19 seasons. Longest in all the major professional sports. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Clint brought a lot of energy to the ball club. They played very well the first 4 months. Saw it come apart with a big losing streak. And as you said, trying to play out the schedule, and they'll just have a tough chore to get back to 500.
One ball, 1 strike.
I talked to Tony La Russa a week or so ago, and he just says, you know, Westbrook is such a hard worker, but we believe he works too quickly, and Yachty is purposely trying to slow him down, kind of delaying putting down the signal just so he can't rush.
Runner goes on a 2-1 pitch, and it's foul. 2-2. What about disrupting, though, his rhythm? That's what he wants to do. Let him do it.
That's a good point, and that's what I was thinking right away. I mean, I talked to Tony about it. They think he rushes, he gets himself in trouble, but it's kind of really hard You know, a pitcher is a creature of habit, and when you want to deliver the pitch, you don't want to be waiting around for a signal.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Presley. McCutchen on deck. Just underway here in St. Louis. Line drive, base hit, right center field. Tabata to second, and so is Presley, who's really flying. He can run. And it's runners at second and third, and nobody out here in the first for the Bucks. Presley's a guy that, as Al was telling you, more of a slap hitter, but they love his speed.
Sure, he can really run, and not like Willie McGee or Vince Coleman or even Ozzie Smith, but he'll scoot around the bases.
Andrew McCutchen will be the hitter.
He and Neil Walker are tied for the team lead with RBIs at 75.
Hit sharply past for Collin into left field. 1 run is in to hold up Presley. And it's 1-0, and still nobody out here in the first inning. Base hit, RBI for McCutchen. That's his 76th he's driven in this year.
Team leadership with that 76. Here Foucault tries to get in front of it, or at least backhand it. Never could get in position. And so much for the slowing up of the motion.
Here is Doman. He's dealt with injuries this year. Batting .280, 7 home runs, 21 driven in. Runners at first and third.
He had the big game last time against Westbrook in his career, 6 for 8 with a home run. We were in Pittsburgh. He had a 4-hit game, including a home run against Westbrook.
And that was on a hanging slider, that home run. Westbrook known for the very good sinker. 1-0 pitch. Took some off it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He got inside with the pitch. That's why it made it effective. Almost cooled off a little bit since he's come off the disabled list. He was red hot, but still, he is 300 with 3 home runs in 15 games since being reinstated from the DL.
1-1 pitch.
He's out 2 months with a broken ankle. Crowd, after being so excited of seeing Ozzie Smith, Vince Coleman, and Willie McGee, it's kind of gotten real quiet.
That pitch was up, hit into right, drops in for a base hit. A run will score. McCutchen stops at second base. 2-0 Pittsburgh. Nobody out here in the top of the first.
Exactly what we expected. Cardinals are wearing the 85 uniform. That was a good year for the Cardinals. Wonder how they like those pants. Do miss the stripes down the side.
I just want to see somebody record it out.
And let's say it's, you know, on the Pittsburgh side.
Doman with that RBI is 22nd. Runners at first and second.
So far he hasn't been able to get a ground ball, and that's his strength.
0-1 pitch now to Neil Walker. Ground ball. This should be an out. They're at second. For Kyle back to first. Runners at the corners, 1 away. 3-6 on that play. And it brings in Garrett Jones. Jones on the year, batting .248. 15 home runs and 53 RBIs. Our keys to the game presented by Toyota. 3 starts for Westbrook in his career with the Cardinals against Pittsburgh. 0-3 ERA that's close to 8.
10-5 after that, 14-8, ERA at 4. And in games started by Westbrook or played in, his team is 0-7 against Pittsburgh.
Alan Craig in center field again. He's deep and shading Jones to pull. 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. 2 balls and no strikes. RBIs already in this ball game for McCutchen and Doman. First 4 reached. The walk, a double, back-to-back singles, and a 2-0 lead for Pittsburgh.
Garrett Jones obviously has tremendous power, but can be pitched to with a sub-250 average.
3-0. Hear a little bit of the crowd already here in the first inning. Restless here at Busch Stadium. We've seen the Cardinals really hit a rough patch, to say the least, the last month or so. St. Louis is 9.5 games out.
Nice victory last night. You would hope that we could start building off of that.
And it's a walk, the second in the inning. Derek Lilliquist out to visit. And again, Dave Duncan not with the club tonight.
But good news is they issued a statement. Dave Duncan's wife had a brain tumor, but really the initial response is no loss of speech. A lot of things are going on there. They're going to get a lot of therapy for her, but we just wish a speedy recovery, and things could be a lot worse. So that's good news.
So bases loaded. Josh Harrison will be the hitter. One thing about Westbrook that you hope happens is you see McCutchen, Doman, and Jones, is that with that sinker it produces a ground ball and you get your double play.
Well, that's it. You know, he has that ability. That is his strength. So, you know, you get out of a double play here, get down by 2, let your offense take over.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Harrison hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position this year. 1 for 3 with a double last night.
360s with runners on base.
And it's a high fly ball into right. McCutchen, the runner at third. He'll score easily. Catch made by Berkman. Throw comes back into second base. Runner tags from second. 3-0. McCutchen scoring the run. All Bucks here in the first. RBI number 8 for Harrison. The Pirates, about a month ago, they were in first place. Went out and got Ryan Ludwig, the former Cardinal. He's on the DL as his back locked up this past week. And they also picked up Derek Lee from Baltimore, and he is out.
Derek Lee hit 2 home runs in his first game and then was hit by a pitch very shortly after that and fractured his hand, his wrist.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Cedeno.
Dan, Ryan Ludwig, you know what a great guy he is and a great teammate, but he got traded last year from the Cardinals to the first place San Diego Padres. And his first game, they started a 10-game losing streak. This year, San Diego trades him to Pittsburgh, and they start a 10-game losing streak, a first-place club.
Here's the 0-2. Play is made by Schumacher. The Pirates will strand 2, but they pick up an early lead. It's 3-0. Willie McGee bobblehead night here at the ballpark. In favor of Pittsburgh, this lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Skip Schumacher, Alan Craig, and Albert Pujols in the first, followed by Holiday, Berkman, and Freese, Molina, Furcal, and Westbrook. James McDonald, the right-hander, gets the start for the Buccos.
Looking for his 9th win, effectively wow with his fastball, and his command of the curveball is going to determine whether he's going to have a good night or not. Really doesn't go deep into a game. Really probably averages a little less than 6 innings per game.
First pitch to Schumacher is a strike. Skip at 301 on the year. Couple of home runs. He's driven in 31. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Talk to the Pittsburgh personnel. They really like McDonald. They think they've got something with him.
Well, he's got a power arm. You know, in some ways, he's a little bit like Edwin Jackson, last night's starter for the Cardinals.
Skip puts it in play. It's hit to third. 1 out. Let's meet the Pirates defensively here tonight. Alex Presley, then McCutchen in center, and Tabata is in right. Harrison, Cedeno, Walker, and Jones along the infield. And the battery is McDonald along with Domit behind the plate.
A lot of times with McDonald, it's how he warms up. If he feels he's got his good fastball, a lot of times he almost use that exclusively the first time through the order. If he doesn't have the good curveball, you know, a lot of times that's his out pitch, and he also will throw a changeup.
Alan Craig looks at a fastball and a strike at 93 miles an hour.
Alan Craig is the only Cardinal that's hit a home run off of this starter.
Cardinals trying to find any way to keep his bat in the lineup, especially against Pittsburgh. We showed you those numbers. He's hitting over 500 against them this year. So Tony, who does some unconventional things at times, puts Craig in center field.
Plaza Tire will bring our Foxmo cam here. As you see, the tall, lanky right-hander, 26 years of age, 6'4", 200 pounds. Got him from the Dodgers.
And a swing and a miss. Looked to be a slider. Craig chased it. 2 down. Brings in Albert. Average is up to 290. 1 for 2 last night. 3 runs scored. 31 homers, 78 RBIs.
And 5 straight games. Albert's got a base hit in the first inning. Talking with McGuire today, and he said that one of the problems we've encountered lately is the first 2 spots in the order are not getting on base, are not seeing a lot of pitches making the pitcher work.
It's one of the reasons why Schumacher, back-to-back nights, has been put into that top spot in the lineup. Had a 4 for 4 day. The day game against the Dodgers, and then in the top spot last night.
Cardinals are averaging better than 4.65 runs per game. Should be good enough if you have good pitching.
2-2 the count on Pujols. This season, batting average when he got to 290 took all the way till August 25th. The 2-2. The 2-2. Pujols, a liner caught at third. Josh Harrison made the play. McDonald leads it off when we come back in the second. A bobblehead day. And tomorrow, Creve Coeur camera photo day. Again tomorrow, a 3:10 start. I'll not say that on your ticket. Start time has been moved to 3:10, so get here early and you'll head on the field. Beautiful night here in St. Louis.
At 84 at game time. The umpire had to call time as Westbrook was going into speed up mode.
Hit to David Freese. 1 away. Back to the top of the lineup. here in the second inning against Westbrook. The ball game was started with Tabata walking and scoring back in the first inning. Cardinals beginning play 5 games above 500, 68 and 63, but only 3 games above 500 here at home.
Not taking advantage of the opportunity in this great atmosphere, very positive atmosphere for the Cardinals. Should have a better home record.
Much improved Pittsburgh team on the road, 30 and 32. They were terrible on the road a season ago.
On a total of 17 games on the road last season.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Evens it up 2-2. You mentioned, Al, it's been kind of an odd season for Westbrook. At times he's been very good, going deep into games, trying to pick up win number 11 here tonight, but 10 and 7 overall.
Yeah, you kind of look at it and you go, well, he struggled, but yet with a victory here tonight, he'll tie Kyle Loesch for the team lead. Hasn't pitched well at home, which you'd think this would be a great environment.
Backhanded by Pujols, leads Westbrook for the out. 2 away.
I think we said that for the Cardinals to have a realistic chance to win this game, they probably need to score 4 runs or more. So if Westbrook can't shut down, and there you see the professor with the student.
Carpenter looked as good his last time out we've seen him in years. Talking with some of the scouts that were watching him the other night, one scout said it reminded him of his Cy Young Award season, how good his cutter was and his location.
Not only that, but he's had better velocity than the last couple of years.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, ground ball. Pujols, nice play. Westbrook to the bag. 3 ground ball outs. That's more like Jake. 3-0 Pittsburgh. Find it at foxsportsmidwest.com.
Plaza Tire Service, Fox Exmo Cam, as Albert makes a nice play and ranges to his right. Jake Westbrook was there, 4 consecutive ground balls. And that's the type of pitcher that Jake is. Maybe he can settle in.
Matt Holliday on the first pitch pops it up right side, and that's out of play. Big crowd here tonight. A lot of fans have taken advantage of dynamic pricing, and there's $15 seats tomorrow and $15 seats on Sunday. One ball, 1 strike.
Matt's got a little 3-game hitting streak, 4 for 12. Got that big 3-run home run last night in the 8th inning to make it a 4-run cushion.
And before it's all said and done, you wonder about his numbers, where they may wind up.
I know he'll get 1 more home run this season at least, and that'll be number 200 of his career. Hopefully it'll come on this pitch. Gave it a rip. Home run last night was his first since August 5th.
Pullover V-neck jerseys that you see tonight to throw back. The 2-2.
The Pittsburgh Pirates were the first ones to come out with the knit uniforms back in the 70s. Everyone said, oh, they look like a softball team. But when then you wore them and you go, wow, these are a lot more comfortable.
You go back to the Wool days, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Mentioned the other day Skip Schumacher lost over 5 pounds that day game. You think how hydrated these guys are able to stay. modern medicine and how you're able to take care of yourself. And you think back to the wool days, and you didn't have Gatorade, you didn't have all those different types of things.
You didn't have any of those things. Nobody really talked about hydration. The only thing Gene Giesman, our trainer, would
popped up to the left side, and the catch is made.
Bergman not happy with him, but Gene Giesman would make up a couple buckets of ammonia water, soak towels in there, and kind of put them over your head and kind of breathe in a little bit to give you a little relaxation. But nobody knew about hydration back then. And I was talking with Bill Finley and a couple of the guys in his crew, and they were saying they lost. One of the gentlemen was saying he wasn't very, he was very slight, but he lost 16 pounds.
Wow.
When they were replacing the sod.
It was one of the hottest weeks of the year. Second inning, here's David Freese. And he looks at his strike. We're getting set to visit with Vince Coleman and Willie McGee. I'll make you stick around. We'll have some fun with those two.
And by the way, Dan, they said you were very smart in your assessment last night. And they said they were waiting for somebody to say the losing streak started because the arch in the grass is not cut in. But they said they will probably try to do that on the road trip. It was just because laying that new sod, it really is so stressful on the grass to kind of mow that impression in. They really have to stress the grass, and it's too young to do that.
I was talking with the guys in the truck, and they said that the most commonly asked question that they get on the carsoup.com email the booth is, where's the arch in the grass?
Right.
So there's the answer.
It'll be back.
Here's a 1-1 pitch.
And Bill also said we are big enough for a team. If they wouldn't blame the losing streak on the grounds crew, we'll take it.
Absolutely.
They do a phenomenal job here in very tough conditions because of the heat. Like I said, they've been fortunate recently because of the cooler nights. That's what I talk about, effectively wild with his fastball. A lot of hitters aren't real comfortable in that box because he'll go up and down, in and out, and a few of them will get away from him a little bit. But that's old-fashioned pitching. Make the hitter uncomfortable.
The 3-1. Base hit into right for David Freese. Matt Holliday safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. Watching where McCutchen was positioned with David Freese, and Al, I'm not sure that there should be any reason why you'd be straight up or even looking at Freese to pull the ball. His power is to right center.
No doubt about it, Dan. Remember, he got the big base hit last night. It was just a little flare, but it scored 2 runs to right field. But when he drives the ball, you're right about it going to right center.
1 out, runners at first and second for Yadier Molina.
In a little tailspin, average at 289 now, and he's 0 for his last 10. New career high in home runs. Streaks follow streaks. Start a new hitting streak.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. In the air. Deep left to the track, to the wall. It is gone. We are tied. Molina with his 12th home run.
Extends that new career high to 12 in home runs. It's our Nissan drive of the game. Ball up, and he just turned on it. That's the 22nd home run allowed by McDonough. Most of them have been solo shots, but not this one. Ties it at 3-all.
And that pitch is taken low by Rafael Furcal.
Good and bad of that is the ball club at times so dependent on the home run ball.
Two balls and no strikes. Molina's home run measured at 370 feet. We're tied up 3-3. What a year Yadi has had offensively. We know about the glove, but this year his offense has been, I don't want to say a pleasant surprise, but it's definitely been an added bonus.
Well, we talked about it a little bit. I think it's just his maturity as a hitter. You know, that he's big and strong, that he's worked so hard with Albert Pujols and perfecting his swing. He was out early today with extra hitting. And he's just coming into his own as a hitter.
Those two are so close right there. Pujols and Molina. Little chopper left side for Kyle. Try to beat it out. Got it. Nice play. Short. The concentration. Your third baseman coming right across. And then you know you've got to be quick because of the speed of Furcal.
No doubt about it. But Cedeno didn't let the distraction of his third baseman get in the way. A third baseman takes anything he can reach.
He may have even touched that a little bit too. Just slightly.
But looking right, you know, concentrate on the ball and very close at first base.
So Furcal is out number 2, and here's Jake Westbrook. And as you mentioned, now you get through the first inning, you settle down. Hopefully your offense comes back, and that's what's happened here.
And Jake Westbrook will tell you, you know, when you kind of let your team down, giving up 3 in the first, but when they get you back even, you know, you kind of tell yourself and you tell them that, okay, guys, I let you down before, I won't let you down again.
Check swing, and he went. Strikeout of Jake Westbrook. And we head to the third. Willie McGee coming up when we come back.
A lot of pride for put a lot of time into, and this year I finished 7th. It was my best finish ever, and next year I feel that I have the ingredients
to win it all.
To win it all, yes.
Willie's back in town, Vince. I've seen you back in town. I'll start with Willie. What was that like going around the track and waving to the fans here today?
It never changes. It's the same. I kind of got hoodwinked. Thought I was just going to come down here, throw out the first pitch, and wave and go home. Next thing I know, I'm in a truck parading around here, you know, signing thousands of autographs. But it's been a great day. You know, it really has. Seeing the fans and seeing the players and talking with Benny all day, laughing and without seeing eyes. So it's been a great day.
Wait till you head over to Shannon's booth.
Oh,
you think it's been bad so far, you're going to have to do everything over there.
Oh, definitely. I don't know if I'll be able to make that one.
I'll be the wingman for that one, Will. You go enjoy yourself. Have a great time. I know you got a lot of people to see here in beautiful St. Louis. The weather's broken here. I mean, it's great. We heard it was 100 degrees, and today it's very, very nice. So a great day for a ball game here.
Willie, I was watching you. It looked like you should. Yeah, no, you want to start doing this, don't you?
Of course I do. I'm bidding for a job here. You know, I got to supplement my income some type of way. You know, golf is just not cutting it right now. So.
Well, maybe you need to improve on your swing.
Well, that's true. But, you know, I only started playing in 1995, you know, seriously. So I think that I could beat you.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll have to try that, though.
I hear you talking.
There you go.
See, there's an out that's made, and you don't even know who made that. McCutcheon, he's a great player. You know, got a lot of speed. He reminds me of Willie McGee in his younger days. So
I do want to ask you guys about stealing bases. Al and I were talking about this. I'll start with you, Vince.
Okay.
How has the game changed? Stealing bases. I mean, could you do now what you did back then?
If I was 25 back now,
yes,
like I was back then, today, yeah, of course I could. I mean, that would never change. I mean, my concept, my egotistical attitude, once I got on base, there was no way you could throw me out. And that's the approach that I've taken to the ball game. I mean, we was blessed by having Whitey Herzog that gave us the green light. That's what he wanted. You know, he built his team around speed. And so with that, it was a domino effect. You know, you had Willie, you had Ozzie, you had Terry Pendleton, you had Tommy Hurd. Everybody expected to come to the ballpark, not only just to hit, to field, to pitch well, to strike people out, but you came in to steal bases.
Willie, I'm watching you. You smile and laugh, and you're trying not to laugh every time he's saying something. What's your deal?
Vince is Vince, you know. That's my buddy. Vince is Vince. Vince could have stolen. He could steal against anybody. You know, his mentality, it was just amazing. You know, he gets on. They can throw over there 20 times. I don't care who it was. He dusts himself off. As soon as they go to the plate, he's gone.
Look at that, over 1,000 steals between you two up here tonight.
I don't think it mattered during the era, you know, during the era. But Benny was a true base stealer. I didn't start really thinking about it that much until he got here. You know, then he put more of an emphasis on it. And if you didn't go, he'd talk about you. But you're scared of, you know, this and that. So he kind of got the juices flowing. He pushed me a little bit and pushed us all.
Willie, I know these fans and Vince absolutely love you guys and love that style of baseball that Whitey had. I wonder what's it like for both of you to come back to St. Louis, and you had a chance to visit with some of the fans, I know, signing autographs and whatnot. But how about for you, Willie? What's it like, just the love affair it seemed like between the fans and you guys, and vice versa?
It's always a positive environment. Any positive environment you have in your life is, you know, you can go back and come back. It's just a great feeling, and this is one of them. And I look forward to coming here when I do come here. You know, you try to bide your time because you got a life, you know, on the other end of the country, and you know that's right now that's the most important thing, you know. But this here was a big part, and you know you have to come back and let the people know that you appreciate, you know, appreciate them seeing what you tried to do here and what you did do.
How's your family, by the way?
Everybody's doing fine.
Good. Healthy, everybody's good.
Yes.
Good.
To revert back what you were saying about the fans, these are the most exciting fan, the most beautiful fan, I mean, the best fans in baseball. I can remember in 1985 playing here, watching Pete Rose come through here trying to break the record.
Right.
Every time he came to a bat, it was a standing ovation. And so that just shows the gratitude that the knowledge of the fans here in St. Louis have. You know, it wasn't a day that go by that when we put on that uniform and we crossed that line that we played for ourselves. Yes, we want to play. We played the game right, but we knew that when we got on that field, the fans showed you how much they appreciated the game of baseball.
We've seen a lot of shirts, by the way, Vince, that say retire 51. Should they retire this guy's number?
Oh, without a doubt. I thought it was retired. They had a Willie McGee day in like 2006, 06. 96. Was that wasn't?
I'll leave it up to Willie.
I don't have any.
Remember they gave you the car? You remember they gave you the car?
Yeah, they gave me a truck, man.
But they didn't retire the jersey that day? I thought that was Willie McGee
That
day.
was Willie McGee Day. That was it. Right there, Willie
Well,
McGee
we go to
Day.
petition.
I got a
that
truck.
day.
Hey, I got a truck. I'm thankful for the day. I'm moving on.
Hey, you know what? The last time I was here, Mike Shannon and I was talking. The most loved baseball player ever played the game in St. Louis was Willie McGee.
Do you guys give him a lot of trouble because of that, too?
No, we love Willie McGee. Was the greatest baseball player ever. I mean, you know what? If it wasn't for Willie McGee, I wouldn't be in the big leagues. You know?
Tell the story why.
Because I got hurt.
I know.
You know how he thinks. Hold on. God. Oh, boy, Billy.
I was in the minor leagues and down there struggling. You know, I was hitting like 110 after 11 days in Louisville.
Somebody get hurt.
Willie gets hurt, and I get a phone call, and they say, well, Coleman come up, and you're going to only be here for 4 days till Willie get better. And I say, okay, well, Mr. Maxwell, I know what you're saying, but, you know, you give me a chance to get on base, I'm going to prove him wrong.
And did you? I would say you did.
Well, it turned into be Rookie of the Year.
Pretty darn good year.
The World Series.
What Vinny said is, I'm not going back. Somebody else.
Willie and Vince are with us, and they're going to be with us next half inning as well. Sorry, Willie, you got to stay. Vince Coleman with us. And here is Skip Schumacher to lead it off, and that pitch is taken for a ball. Willie stats. Here we go. 1985 MVP. Batting title, 85 and 90. Great catch in 1982 to help secure a World Series against the Milwaukee Brewers. 353 average. You see that. 1985, over 200 hits. Boy, you guys are fun to watch. And you think about 1985, I think about Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee, Vince Coleman. I also think about some bad things that happened, too. But I don't want to talk about.
Well, if I had a nickel for every time that bad thing happened.
Yeah, I bet.
Tell everybody you're talking about the tarp, right?
I am talking about the tarp.
That no longer exists here at Busch Stadium.
Old Busch Stadium.
Old Busch Stadium.
That's right. This is Busch Stadium 3. There's see now that tarp. There's the tarp now. That doesn't come out of the ground and come over the field. So you'd be all right now.
Right.
I feel comfortable if you're down on the field.
I know.
So, now, Willie, you must love doing these interviews because I know you love being on TV and radio, don't you?
Yeah, it's just the best thing I can ever do. And I wake up looking forward to this stuff.
Now, where's Ozzie? I saw him on the field before the game, and how often do you guys get together?
Ozzie's in the back. He's waiting for Willie right now. Well, both of us right now. He's here. Ozzie and I probably get together a little bit more than Willie. Willie is dedicated by being home and being with he does a little baby. I mean, he's 9 years old, little boy. So he's teaching him all the ins and outs of how to grow up and be a man and be a baseball player.
There's a great picture right there.
Ozzie and I play a lot more golf tournaments, charity events, and so Ozzie he's bettering his golf game. So,
is he?
Yeah, he's bettering his golf game.
I want to ask you guys what you see when you watch Albert Pujols. And Willie, you said you catch up on the games with highlights. You watch late at night. I'll start with you. What do you see with Albert?
I went to spring training a couple years and watched this guy, how he prepares and how he goes about his business. And like I say, he's a true professional. He loves the game. He works at it. He wants to be good at it, and he takes it serious. And I respect that. He goes. I mean, he is serious about his business, and everybody knows there's no secret. He's one of the best hitters, if not the best hitter, in baseball. I know he's one of the best I've ever seen. Probably the best, right-handed hitter I've seen.
Well, we had the pleasure of playing with two. Jack Clark and Pedro Guerrero. Mm-hmm. And if you had to compare Pujols to those two guys,
sure,
I think that, hands down, better. He hits for an average, he hits for power, he hits the ball to all parts of the field. He runs the bases, he plays defense, so he's a complete ball player.
How special was it for you guys to see Whitey go in the Hall of Fame?
It's good. He deserves it. He's proven himself every stop. He was a player's manager, but he's one of the thinkingest managers I've ever been around. It seemed like he was always, like they say, a step or two ahead. The guy was just amazing. But what I liked about it is that as a player, you're playing the game, but you don't even know he's there. Because sure. Once you're out there, you're your own man. He expects you to be able to make the decisions and do what you're supposed to do, handle your responsibilities that's required for you to be successful and to help the team be at its best.
For both you guys, he gave you a shot. And I'm sure that's got to stick with you too. He's the guy that gave you that shot, and now to see him in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, it's no doubt. I pulled for him. Like I say, I've always loved Whitey and always appreciated what he did for me and the type of person he is. He always respected me. And just like with anybody, in most cases, if you come and you just go about your business, do your job to the best of your ability, he's one of the guys that understands if you're trying, good or bad.
No doubt.
I tell everybody all the time, if it hadn't been for Whitey, who else would have given a guy that only been switch hitting for 1 year and have the patience to put me in the major leagues and say, you don't have to hit a home run, just hit it on the ground. And you know, he knew what type of team he wanted.
Oh, I would have done it. I'd have put you in the big league.
Willie, Vince, awesome to have you guys back. I know our fans love it.
Okay,
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And we're back in live action. First pitch was driven into right for a catch for Berkman. And good start here for Westbrook in the top of the fourth.
Well, Harrison hits the ball out to Berkman. Not as tough as his last inning. He's made a nice running catch for the final out. Wait, how did your interview go? All I know is Vince Coleman said. Vince Coleman said my job was secure. I said I appreciate that.
It was fun. It's great having Willie back, and you know, Al, you've been around him forever. And I was doing the games at the tail end of his career, so I've been around him. And
so humble.
He's unbelievably humble and shy. Time was not granted, and it's a strike. So I gave him trouble. I said, Willie, I know you've been really looking forward to doing this. That hurdle down to the top step. He didn't like that.
Well, you can't argue balls and strikes, and you know you can ask for time, but it has to be granted by the umpire. And he did not grant time to Ronnie Cedeno, so the pitch counts, ball or strike.
And that just missed. Little tapper left side, and no play for Freeze. Cedeno is aboard on a 3-2 pitch. Cardinals base.
Arkansas. Catherine is celebrating her 90th birthday today. Thanks for watching Cardinal baseball, and happy birthday, Catherine.
Here's James McDonald. Bunts it foul.
It's a little weird saying happy birthday, Catherine, to someone who's 90 years old. Just wanted to be more respectful.
Said Miss Catherine, or thought you were very respectful in the manner in which you delivered that wonderful greeting.
This is Wimberley.
One ball, one strike. A 3-3 game. Pirates jumped out to a 3-run lead, and then the Cardinals came back with a 3-run homer by Yadier Molina. McDonald gets the bunt down, only plays to go to first for Westbrook. Schumacher is covering. Cedeno advancing on the play.
See the barrel higher than the handle. Get it out in fair territory. Just have soft hands. Let the ball come to the bat, and then contact being made. Those soft hands, just let bat come back a little bit to deaden it.
Jose Tabata walked in the first. He's scored a run. 2 outs and a runner at second base, and that pitch is taken low in the dirt. The ball game started with a walk by Westbrook, and Tabata came around to score. First 4 reached in this game.
To settle down, he's pitched very well.
Absolutely.
3 runs were scored in the first, but thanks to Yadier Molina, we're playing even baseball, 3-3. Yadi's 12th home run, a 3-run shot.
Line drive, and that's a fair ball off the sidewall, and it's stuck underneath there, and a fan thought about touching it. Stays away from it. Ball is still in play, and the Pirates back on top as Cedeno scores to make it 4-3.
Cedeno Reach base on the swinging bunt. He's out there at second base, 2 outs. He's going to score easily. Tabata gets himself in scoring position. He had a 10-game hitting streak stopped yesterday and also had a 17-game hitting streak against Cardinals. He only played in 17 games and took an 0 for yesterday in his 18th game and back hitting again.
Alex Presley, no balls and a strike with 2 outs. Runner at second base. So the 19th RBI for Tabata. Presley 1 for 2, his double back in the first. Line drive. Left center, and Alan Craig makes the catch on the run. Berkman frees. Molina coming up. Pirates back on top. Here's Berkman, followed by Freeze, and then Molina. Our Fox tracks this half inning brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. A 4-3 lead for Pittsburgh. Willie McGee night here at the ballpark, his bobblehead giveaway. As Willie said, it's turned into a little bit more than he thought.
Yeah.
Throwing out the first pitch and signing some autographs, but great to have him back.
Berkman on the homestand, 357. Didn't like the call.
5 kids, Willie was telling me, and his youngest is 9. Oldest is 29. 2-1 pitch.
So still be a ways before we see him back on a consistent basis. He's so involved with his daughters.
Just missed.
Closer to the strike zone than strike 2.
And a swing and a miss. First strikeout in the inning for McDonald, and number 4 overall. Amazing that kid was born back in the first. High strike to David Freeze. Oh, 1 pitch. He has a base hit to right. Make it strike 2.
Might surprise you, but Mike Shannon was interviewing Tony La Russa on the pregame show and talked about Tony being on that committee, changed some of the rules. And he talked about how do you speed up the game.
And
well, Tony agreed that there's some things there that we could do. And basically said one of the biggest problems is a hitter constantly stepping out of the box. Doesn't, where in the minor leagues, once you get in the batter's box, you have to stay in the batter's box.
This one for you will be televising our broadcast September 2nd to Afghanistan. We hope you join us on September 2nd. This one's for you. To me, Al, when I watch, it's both. It's the hitters and the pitchers, not all, on both sides, but you do see it. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Molina 2 for 2 to go along with his 3-run homer.
One of Mike's also little kicks is limiting catchers going to the mound.
Pulled his home run. This time he goes to right.
Another high pitch that he gets on top of for a line drive to right.
You know, college baseball actually, the SEC did this, instituted a clock with nobody on base. Now, they did not have the clock running when there was a base runner on, and the game did stall a little bit. For Kyle, a base hit into right. Molina will stop at second.
What is the time between pitches?
I believe it was 20 seconds.
Well, I doubt that, because it used to be 20 seconds when I played. Now at the major league level, it's 12.
Is that right?
It's 12 now at the major league level.
I don't know if we've ever seen 12.
But Tony says, you know, they have so much other things to look at, they rarely call it.
2 outs, runners at first and second.
There's always been a clock, you know, when I played, because everyone was trying to catch me.
I would assume, Al, that, you know, Major League Baseball, if you're trying to keep the fan base that you have and attract younger fans, that's something they'd have to really try to take a hard look at and make sure that they did institute a rule to speed up the game, that they actually held the players to it. You know, there's a lot of young kids that, while they do enjoy the game, they don't like the speed of it. And that's where you see kids going to football and hockey and basketball and other sports. It's just one of the reasons. But you talk to young fans and they say it's just too slow for me.
No, I totally understand that. One of the other big reasons, too, is managers today trying to stop the running game, so they institute the step-offs, the difference, you know, no pitch, the fake to third, throw to first. All those things take time.
Here's a 1-1. We've got 2 guys tonight that work at a pretty decent pace. We know about Westbrook, but McDonald has done the same.
You know, last night when we left the booth, and I kind of looked at my watch, and once again, another 3.5-hour game.
Right. Here's a 1-2 to Westbrook. 2-2.
I've always felt, too, that the umpires could, if they just called more strikes, could speed up the game. Don't let, you know, in the 70s, once you got to the batter's box, it was a rule that you had to ask permission to leave the batter's box.
Westbrook drives it into center, but right at McCutchen. The Cardinals will strand 2. And the Pirates lead it by the score of 4-3 as we head to the 5th.
It's one of the, you know, when you look at it and the chances of the Cardinals getting back in a race, it's just the inconsistency of the starting pitching. It's just hard to believe that they could do so. But, you know, you never know. Maybe they play very relaxed, thinking they're out of it. There is a very good ball club that just has not played up to expectations at times. Tony's used the word, it's mugged. It's good start, and all the adversity they had at the beginning of the season that they overcome.
Strike to McCutchen. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You could get, and remember, the Cardinals will play the last 2 days and the first day of September in Milwaukee. But if you can get to within 5 games on September 1st, you really do have a legitimate shot to win this. It's not going to be easy, but you do. And then you still would have 3 more home games against Milwaukee here in St. Louis.
6 head-to-head remaining with Milwaukee.
Tony will never throw in the towel. But, you know, sometimes you got to be realistic. And if the club maybe plays loose and free, have some fun, maybe they can get back in it.
Little bit low, 3-2. Talk so much about the players that have contracts that may not bring them back to St. Louis, and every year Tony La Russa talks about evaluating his situation, and that's a base hit from McCutchen in the left.
You'd rather have him hit his way on rather than, you know, commit another walk. But Jake has a tremendous sinker, so he stands tall, starts moving forward. Gets that 2-seamer going. Fields his position very well. Why would a pitcher throw a ball out after, you know, once it's been hit? maybe scuffed up because it hit the infield a little bit, but maybe Dolman asked for it to be thrown out.
A lot of times it is the hitter that does ask for that and puts in that request. Granted 100 out of 100 times. Ryan Domet, 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. McCutchen, good speed, the runner at first.
Domet the great numbers against Westbrook, 1 for 2 tonight.
No reason why the Pirates do feel that they have turned the corner and can be even better next year. Clint Hurdle in his first season, but certainly with a guy like McCutchen, you build around him. Young player, leader of this team.
Oh, they're pretty happy with all 3 of the young outfielders.
Yes.
And their pitchers have made, Charlie Morton didn't have his best stuff last night, but they've got some guys that have really helped out.
2-0.
Karstens is 9-7.
Big gap in right center. Verkaal is near the bag at second base. The 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Westbrook needs a double play here. Ooh, close.
See Schumacher in the background there. As Cutchin made it very close, got back, but Skip way off the second base. Verkaal playing close to the second base.
Take a look at the earlier pickoff attempt. McCutchen nearly caught. Exmo presented by Hyundai.
He got back in time, but maybe reached his limit. A guy like Vince Coleman or Lou Brock would say, okay, I got back plenty of time. I can take another step.
2 balls, 1 strike here on Ryan Domet. Leaning towards second, not running. And that's a strike. 2-2. We're in the top of the 5th. Pittsburgh jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Cardinals tied it up in the bottom of the 2nd with a home run by Molina. The Pirates regain the lead in the top of the 4th. RBI single, rather double by Tabata. Here's a high fly ball into right. Going back, Berkman with room and makes the catch. All year long, Lance Berkman has pretty much made the routine plays. The one thing he does is get rid of the baseball very, very quickly to make up for any deficiency in a strong arm that he may have in right.
I agree with you. A lot of concern to other people, and it's time for trivia.
Who led the Cardinals in hits against the Pirates in 1985. Willie had 216 hits that year, and 25 came against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tommy Hurt 23, Coleman 17. That is one guy we don't hear a lot of or have seen much of.
Tommy Hurt?
Yeah. And he was coaching for a long time, correct?
He still lives in Pennsylvania, and whether it's been an independent team or has managed in some major league farm systems, but he thought his son was going to be a real big league player, and had a couple of good years in the minor leagues, but I'm sure he's done now.
Strike 2, Walker, 1 ball, 1 strike. Those teams are so much fun, and after near misses in the 70s, they finally in the 80s were able to get over that hump and win in 82, 85, and 87.
If I'm not mistaken, that was when Vince came up in 85.
Correct.
And so he didn't have a full season and still had 17 hits against the Pirates.
Yeah, and we were talking about that, Al. He said it was very early in the season, and the injury to Willie McGee that gave Vince the opportunity to come up.
Was it Willie?
That's what he said.
I was thinking it was David Green or somebody else, but he would know.
So would Willie.
Yeah. I mean, he was supposed to come up for the weekend, and he said, "No, I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay." And he went out and had a dramatic first game, and people said, "Well, maybe he is."
He said he was hitting about 110 in the minor leagues. He said, "I'm not going back there."
You know, you talk about his football days.
We did not get into that. Kicker, Vince Coleman.
You know, the athlete that he is, that he could do whatever he wanted in just about any sport.
Strikeout of Walker.
2 words with our home plate umpire as he disagreed with the call.
Garrett Jones will be the hitter. He walked first inning and also flied out to right. Garrett Jones was 0 for 9 in the previous series against Arthur Rhodes in his career. That was until he put one in the Allegheny. Ball scoots away and into the seats, so McCutchen.
1 base, I believe, or no, 2. 1 base. So he would have ended up at least at third. So bad throw. Really, Albert didn't have much of a chance, and then it skipped and hopped into the seats. And if it would have stayed in play, he would have been at least at third.
So a throwing error on Westbrook puts a runner in scoring position for Jones. Pitch around Garrett Jones here and deal with Josh Harrison, who came through first time up with the bases loaded, a sac fly RBI. Also flied out to right. Intentional pass here, and we'll see Harrison. Saturday, September 10th, fans ages 15 and under receive a collectible Cardinals pennant, perfect for the baseball themed bedroom, courtesy of Coca-Cola and the Pasta House Company. To ensure your young fan receives his or hers, visit Cardinals.com for tickets. Breaking ball that's taken inside.
Things that it just seems like Westbrook always gets that pitch count up. A little better tonight, but you know, he's going to end up in the 90s probably. He's already in the 90s, and this inning is through.
Three and 0. Well, you pitch around Jones to get to Harrison, and now go to 3 and 0 on this spot. Cedeno on deck.
You got a sinker ball pitcher, and sometimes we've just seen his ball move so much that it'll go right through the strike zone. But see, Tony, his frustration, the fielders, you know, they really can't do anything. He's already walked 4, including the man at first base with the intentional variety.
Here's a 3-0 pitch. He walked him. The throwing error by Westbrook, intentional walk to Jones. 4 pitches. He walks Harrison. And now Cedeno.
Stanio has always hit the Cardinals. He's 1 for 2. He's now 4 for 10 against Westbrook. Not exactly the guy you want to bring up with the bases loaded. There are 2 outs though.
And a fly ball left field. Should be caught off the end of the bat. Who wants it? It will be Holiday. Out of the jam. It's 4-3 midway through 5. A solo shot off of Jim Deshaies of the Astros. 5-4. Cardinals win. This date in history brought to you by Schnucks. Cardinals trail tonight 4-3 as we move to the bottom half of the 5th.
Now that was his second home run because he hit one inside the park. Right.
Well, here we go. Top of the lineup. Schumacher, Craig, and Pujols down by a run.
Starting to get into an area where McDonald starts getting a little higher ERA.
Higher pitch that time and a high fly ball into center. McCutchen one away.
There you go. See how each time through the order gets a little bit bigger. ERA. That's actually the batting average.
Here's Alan Craig. First pitch taken inside and high. Craig is grounded out to third. And he has also struck out. That was back in the first.
Donald has won 5 of his last 7 decisions. He also leads the team in strikeouts and 119 right now.
Now, you and I were doing a game against Pittsburgh not too long ago. Another high fly ball. McCutchen is there. And at that point, they were still in contention in the Central, but you really weren't sold on this team just yet, were you?
No, I mean, it's a great story, and you knew that I was hopeful that they would get to 500. But I thought over the course of the year, and they've had a lot of injuries, and they've had a lot of surprises as they've been able to overcome some of that injury.
Budweiser What's on Tap back on Fox Sports Midwest Sunday 12:30. Kyle Loesch and Lincoln.
And good luck to you tomorrow on your broadcast on Big Fox.
Looking forward to
Channel 2 here.
Working with Bob Walk tomorrow. Was supposed to work with Mitch Williams. And Mitch, because of the storm up east, a little concerned about that. So travel has been halted for thousands of people. So he'll stay put. Bob Walk will fill in.
I have a good time with Walkie. Don't you love a pitcher with the name Walk? He was a teammate of mine.
That's tough.
In Atlanta.
I think it's better than Homer.
That's true, too. Homer Bailey. Change it, kid.
Walk to Pujols. So tell me about Bob Walk.
One of his nicknames was Whirlybird. There's Walkie.
Say that again?
Whirlybird. California kid, and he lived up to it. The one thing he was missing was he was right-handed, but he would have been a real classic left-hander. Now, I've been told this is true, but maybe you can ask for verification.
Is this a story?
Might be off the air. But, you know, one time, you know, we've heard about people go to the plate without a helmet. One time, he went to the plate without a bat.
You have told that story.
No.
And I meant to ask him, you know, we've seen him for years now doing the Pirates, and we've talked to him hundreds of times, and I meant to ask him about that story. I'll ask him tomorrow.
Yeah, ask him and then let me know.
We'll get true.
Of course, you know, if
validation
it's true,
of that story.
I don't know if you'd really want to confess it.
Well, exactly. We need to find somebody that was on the scene that day. Get the truth.
He had a nice career. A little series with Philadelphia. a long time with the Pirates. Had some big years with them. You guys will have some fun.
1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Holliday. 4-3 Pittsburgh. Runner goes. That's Pujols. Great jump. No chance. Stolen base.
You're absolutely right. He stole that off the pitcher. Domet really does not have a. Well, he has a very poor throwing percentage, but he really made that a lot closer. But watch the jump. You know, he's halfway before the ball even got to the plate. Well, maybe one of the better throws by Domet, but because he had such a tremendous jump off the pitcher, he had no chance.
1-2 the count.
7th steal for Albert. Only caught once.
And it's a swing and a miss, and Holliday strikes out. So Pujols the walk and then the steal. We're through 5. It's 4-3. Perfect night for baseball here in St. Louis. Cardinals trail 4-3. If you're just joining us, it's Willie McGee bobblehead night. Had a chance to catch up with Willie and Vince Coleman. They were both in the booth.
How about the nice surprise? The Cardinals, you know, Ozzie has such an extensive travel itinerary, and it felt like he was going to be out of town, but he got back in time to come out here unannounced to be part of that pregame ceremony and see his teammates. It's the class of the Wizard.
Chevy Foxtrax. 2-1 pitch. Furcal backing up with time and makes the play. I think you would agree with this, Al, wholeheartedly. We'd love to see Ozzie around the ballpark a lot more.
No doubt about it. You know, it just
well documented the issues that he's had with Tony La Russa and vice versa.
But, you know, I mean, Tony has made overtures to bury the hatchet. And I think Ozzie has not taken advantage of that. So then it's kind of deepened the divide again.
Strike at the knees to top it up. One is in the Hall of Fame and the other one is headed there. Here's the 0-2. Seen a few times tonight where Molina is pointed at his front shoulder, meaning Westbrook.
Opening up too soon.
A lot of pitches have tailed back in.
Well, that's what happens. You know, I mean, he's got so much movement at times on that sinking fastball that it just goes right through the strike zone and out.
And there's a strike. May have been a high strike, but Tabata caught looking. Baseball everywhere at MLB.tv, and you can find out more at STLCardinals.com. MLB.tv. Alex Presley, 2 outs and nobody on. Lined out to center, grounded out to first, and a fine play made by Pujols. And he also doubled back in the first. Ground ball right side. Efficient inning here for Jake Westbrook midway through 6. Cardinals lead it. It's 4-3. Great question here. Which team do you think was better, 82, 85, or 87? 82 won in 7 games over Milwaukee, the World Series. 85 lost to Kansas City. 87 7 games to Minnesota. My personal opinion was 85.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, you know, that female tarp got Vince.
We talked about that.
Yeah, that's his great line, isn't
Yeah.
it? Well, how did the thing that goes 2 miles an hour get one of the fastest guys in the game? Well, it was a female tarp, you know. But you know, in 85 and 87, you know, they really had the injuries, like Jack Clark and was it Pendleton that was could only hit from one side of the plate. Joe McGrain starts Game 7 on the road, and in Minnesota, a rookie pitcher. Wasn't the most ideal thing, but it was 87. The home team won every game, and
right.
They had home field advantage.
3-0.
85, I think, was maybe the funnest team to watch.
Probably the most fun to watch is right. Great speed. Surprise that was Vince Coleman. The surprise that was that team. Remember, most national pundits had that 85 team being terrible. 3-1 pitch to Berkman. Good rip. 3-2.
And that when Whitey made the statement, Bruce Sutter won 45 games a year before, and so I got 45 games dumber. But the emergence of Todd Worrell, who I saw earlier today here at the ballpark, he was kind of a top draft pick, but failed sort of as a starter. They'd only go about 5 innings, then run out of gas. So Lee Thomas decided, hey, let's put him in the bullpen. And what a closer he became.
McCutchen in center. 1 away. Berkman is 0 for 3 on the night. Give me your impression of James McDonald outside of that 3-run homer that he gave up to Yadier Molina.
I've always liked his arm. We saw him with the Dodgers. Now this is about the 3rd time I can remember him pitching for the Pirates. And he's still a young guy. He's only 26 years of age. You really like how he goes right after hitters. Doesn't have the greatest fastball, but in his mind he can spot it in and out. Makes hitters a little bit uncomfortable. A lot of his success depends on the command of the curveball. See, he'll jam guys, not afraid to pitch inside. And then he's got a changeup that'll improve his, he learns how to pitch.
Oh-2 pitch. Breaking ball pulled by David Freese to his counterpart at third. 2 away.
His father was a Rams.
Back in the second inning. Molina pulling this down the left field line, and Yadi continuing with his career high in home runs. That was number 12. Two outs and nobody on. Molina line drive to first, and the Cardinals are done in the 6th. Pirates by a run. Coke, bobblehead, ice cream sundae, come on out. That's this Sunday, Pirates and Cardinals. McCutchen, Doman, and Walker. Arthur Rhodes is throwing in the bullpen. It's 4-3 as we play here in the top of the 7th.
After McCutchen, you got a couple switch hitters, and we know what Doman has done against Westbrook, so Tony will have his left-handed specialist at the ready.
1-1 pitch. Line drive, center field, base hit.
Probably see Rhodes now.
Leadoff hit by McCutchen. He's 3 for 3 with an RBI. And here comes Tony La Russa. And here comes Arthur Rhodes.
So it's our Mid-America Chevy dealers call the bullpen. Arthur Rhodes will come in here. Westbrook goes 6+ innings, responsible for the runner at first. Games were with Texas, released by them, and since the trade or pitched 6 games, 0-1. That came hanging a slider, and Jones hit that one out against him. So he's been pitching much better. When he first came over, he got a little stagnant, as there was a period of time before he went from Texas to St. Louis, and now he's got himself in shape and pitching like the veteran he's always been.
Beautiful night here in St. Louis. Jake Westbrook, 6+ innings, 4 runs, 7 hits, and air behind him. Arthur Rhodes against the Pirates. His career record of 1-1, 1.13 ERA in 19 games.
And here he's making his 888 career appearance. Second among active pitchers, second only to Rivera of the Yankees. 252 career holds, ranked second to Mike Stanton's 266. So Westbrook's through. He goes 6+ innings. 6+ innings, 7 hits. Responsible for the 4 already in the scorebook, and the runner at first base. 5 walks, 1 of them was intentional, and 3 strikeouts. Turned Dorman around.
Runner goes, throw to second, almost took the head off of Arthur Rhodes. Holy smokes.
You got to learn to duck, don't you?
Oh my goodness.
He may be making his 888th appearance, but you got just a wake-up call right there.
Wow. Watch Arthur Rhodes.
Takes off. Now he's standing right there, and this almost gets decapitated. And then Schumacher. And Molina's going to sit there and say, "You okay?" Not often you got to go out there and find out what's the sign with nobody on base.
Active leaders, innings pitched in relief. Mariano Rivera, the great closer of the Yankees, and then Arthur Rhodes, Guillermo Mota, Francisco Cordero, and then Kyle Farnsworth. So 1 out after the caught stealing. 1 ball, no strikes on the switch hitting Ryan Domit. 2-0.
Domit is a switch hitter, and this is natural side. Not a whole lot of difference in batting average. 276 to 281. 276 from the right side, but 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 29 at bats. From the left side, he has 5 home runs and 13 RBIs, 14 with tonight's, in 117 plate appearances.
2-1 pitch. Foul territory. Berkman over and makes no. He can't make the catch. Looked like he overran it just a bit.
Well, and it looked like, too, he stumbled a little bit right as he got to the ball. His one toe kind of stumbled a little bit, maybe threw him off stride. Long run, he got there, just didn't make the catch. It's also an E9, his 6th error of the season, the 2nd one by the Cardinals tonight.
The other by Westbrook on a pickoff play. Errant throw. McCutchen would advance to second. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. You give a major leaguer an extra out, makes you cringe.
I was talking with McGuire about that, and he said, the missed double play opportunities, different things, the errors that we've committed. 88 on the season. He said, you give them good ball clubs, 30, 31, 33 outs a game, and it'll make you pay. Pitchers don't often look at walks. What's the difference between that and an error?
Ground ball and a defensive swing that time, and Rhodes covering the bag at first.
Got the ball in and jams Dolman. Neil Walker turns around.
Two outs, nobody on. Walker will the walk tonight. Grounded into a fielder's choice and also has struck out.
Got Walker here, and hopefully Arthur Rhodes can retire him, set down the inning, and then he would start against Garrett Jones, who hit that home run off him in Pittsburgh, to being 0 for 9, and then Dotel, who's warming up, probably would come in. Make sure all that's in the next inning.
One 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pungo Award will be awarded later tonight in the postgame show. I'm curious, Al, do you actually walk into the clubhouse and ever present the winners with a Hungo? Big fat check?
Give them a check. You know, first year we gave them Hungos. After that, we just give them a check.
Big money too, I would imagine.
I think it's $5,000 a week.
I wish I would have won mine. Certainly,
well, that was the year we were giving them physically out.
That's why I really wish I could win one now.
You won the very first one because, as a gag, you're the one that set up this thing. Little did you know it. How many years later we're still doing it?
It took off.
Yeah, I had to go down and run. You know, I had Tony go down and get one from Aggie just a few minutes ago. A young lady said, "I need one for my husband."
She needed it for her husband, huh?
That's what she told me. I must have been in a good mood tonight. Because I went and had Tony go get one.
2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Ripped into center. Craig back and makes the catch. Time to stretch. Willie McGee bobblehead day here at the ballpark. Then we'll see Corey Patterson has moved to the on-deck circle. And for Kyle, looks at a strike. McDonald, the starter for the Pirates, pitching effectively. He's allowed his 4 base hits.
And I said he really doesn't go deep into ball games. One time this season has he pitched 7 innings. So he's right there. You know, several times he'd get 6+, 6 2/3. So this is the inning you're getting.
For Kyle, base hit out to left. Just over the outstretched arm of the shortstop Cedeno. Going to pull back Patterson, and John Jay will be the pinch hitter.
Ralphie picked another multi-hit game. Our Hyundai Expo Cam. Another ball up in the zone, and these guys are putting a good level swing on it, hitting the line drive.
That was good work by Arthur Rhodes. Slow walk by Doman out to the mound. See how the Cardinals want to play this with the tying run at first. Go ahead, run at the plate. Scoreless inning for Arthur Rhodes. Still getting people out.
Kyle McClellan warming up for the Cardinals. activity for the Pirates. It's Jason Grilly. And Clint Hurdle with a slow walk out. I mentioned that, you just look at the numbers, and he's pretty much a 6-inning pitcher, and that's what he does here tonight. 6 good innings for the Pirates. And John Jay will be facing the veteran right-hander, Jason Grilly.
Jason Grilly in for the 16th time this year.
Well, he was signed as a free agent on July 21st. He was with Philadelphia on a AAA contract, but he had an escape clause. He exercised that, and he's been used quite a bit in the last month. Really got his first win last Wednesday. That was his first win since August 27th of '09. And he's been scored upon him just 3 times in his 15 appearances with Pittsburgh, and opponents are batting .206 against him.
John Jay represents the go-ahead run. At first, Rafael Furcal. Will Tony bunt here, or will he let Jay swing away and try to pull it through the right side?
I've seen a couple times when he'll send up Jay in to bunt.
Third baseman Harrison guarding the line and also way in. How close he is to the line, Al.
Yeah, I mean, very close to the line for a left-handed hitter. Now, we've seen John Jay hit balls to left field, and I think one game in Pittsburgh he did hit one right inside the third base bag, but look at all the area, to the third baseman's left. A big hole that way.
The 0-1 pitch. Instead, a check on the runner at first.
That defense may work, but I would love to take my chances. John Jay is 2 for 3 off of Jason Grilly. Harris been very dependable for the Pirates warming up.
This defense really has created a lot of hitting lanes for John Jay, especially left side as close as the third baseman is to the line. You have to hold it first.
But also, yeah, if you pull the ball or flare one to left. Even Cedeno is playing close to the second base bag, so a lot of hitting lanes either way. He's trying to go to left field. John Jay, an even 300. 8 home runs kind of sneak up on you, don't they? And 31 RBIs.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Furcal is the runner at first base. Strikeout of Jay.
They thought the ball was inside, but a home plate umpire, Mike DeMuro, rang him up. Ball just slid right across, a lot of movement, and Skip Schumacher. Kind of wonder if you don't bunt, why don't you do some kind of hit and run or some kind of get the guy into scoring position.
going to bunt, that's as good a spot as any to do it in this game.
Right. Now you got good speed for Furcal. He's got 298 career steals. Not as fast as he once was, but still.
Milwaukee, by the way, leading in the bottom of the 7th. Their game is 4-2. Now Furcal is running, and Schumacher is out at first.
Each time by him running, they avoid the double play.
So Alan Craig a chance to tie this game up, or maybe even put the Cardinals on top. Craig tonight is fly to deep center, grounded out to third, also struck out.
Allen's never faced Jason Grilli.
Runner at second, 2 down. The pitch outside to Craig.
Straight up and straight away in the infield and outfield for Craig.
Here's a ground ball left side, cut off by the third baseman Harrison, and he makes the play. 4-3, Pirates on top. Westbrook, the starter for the Redbirds, pitched into the 6th. Yadier Molina, 3-run homer, and McDonald, 6 innings, 3 earned runs for the Buccos.
Good care of her friend there, right?
Build-A-Bear workshop right here at the ballpark.
Kyle McClellan takes over. Arthur Rhodes did his job. See if Kyle can't have a 1-2-3 inning and get the Redbirds back on offense. Kyle made 17 starts, but Cardinals were very concerned, could they replace his innings out of the bullpen? To some degree, that was not really settled in the first half. Mott's just been on a great run. A lot of times he'll come in to clean up an inning, come in with men on base. Jason Mott has just done a phenomenal job of late.
Nothing at 2, the count on Garrett Jones. Top of the 8th, breaking ball that's taken low. Two is hit out to left. Long way to go for Holiday, and he won't make the catch.
You see the long run by Matt Holiday. He can sense that he's running out of room, and that ball just right up against the wall, and padding or not, you don't want to run into it. Good way to hurt your wrist trying to backhand that ball, running into the wall. Part of the success from McClellan, 3 years he was out of the bullpen, was his ability to retire left-handed batters.
Over 40,000 here tonight. 40,480. Schumacher makes the play. But mark that down again out 4-0, 4-8-0. 3 o'clock tomorrow, Fox Saturday Baseball, Cardinals and Pirates. Chris Carpenter getting that start tomorrow. And trying to go above 500, 3 o'clock on Fox Channel 2 locally.
And once again, you'll be doing that broadcast with Bob Walk. I'll be tuned in.
Carpenter last time out, let's just say it was a fairly controversial move. 99 pitches, 9th inning after he hit a man Monday night and lifted in that game. Cardinals eventually lost it. Really was and we've had a lot of them, frustrating losses this year, but that may have been the one that stands out the most.
Carp's a real professional, and he's always said, I'll go as long as hard. And when Tony makes a decision, I will not question it. But I think we both questioned it and felt in that game with the command he had, we would have liked to seen Carpenter get that opportunity to continue. Win or lose, let him be the winner or loser.
Here's a grounder to David Freese. Two down. And really, if you're Tony and you think about that spot, Al, and let's just say for argument's sake that Carpenter does lose the game, I think most fans would say, I get it. It's okay if you stuck with Chris Carpenter. He's been your horse for years. He's been great this year. Pitch counts have not been an issue this season. And you just say, hey, I'm either going to win with him or I'm going down with him.
Correct. And he's been on quite a roll, 1-7, and then even just record at 8-8. Look for a chance to go to over 500. And who knows how many he'll end up with. But as I said, Carpenter, the real pro, said, hey, Tony made the decision. I don't question it.
1 ball, 1 strike. Good pitch. 1-2. Cardinals will have Pujols, Holiday, and Berkman coming up.
Yeah, McClellan has such good stuff. It's just has a lot of weapons. That's why you could see him very successful as a starter. One thing that you kind of wondered about would be the innings.
Do you think he hit a wall?
A little bit, but really, because remember they put him on the disabled list for a couple weeks, and so you thought that if he had, that would kind of kick in and rejuvenate him.
Swing and a miss. The big 3 coming up. Pujols, Holiday, and Berkman. Over 40,000 here tonight. Couple of changes for the Pirates. Wood will take over at third base, and Jose Barris really has some nasty stuff.
He's really been a workhorse. He's their ball club in appearance. This will be number 68. He's appeared in 7 of the last 12 games. See the ERA at 2.95. 2.61 ERA in the first 45 games prior to the All-Star break. 3.66 in 22 games since the break, but batters are batting 192 against him. Albert is 0 for 1. The breaking ball, Dan, it just seems like hitters just don't see it.
Yeah, they don't pick it up.
They don't pick it up, and they take an awful lot of them, or they'll swing at a pitch that's well off the plate.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled back by Pujols. Note here from Grant asking if we would say get well wishes to Therese Washburn, who is feeling a little bit under the weather, and hopefully Albert will hit one, and that'll help that speedy recovery. That's Therese Washburn. Here's the 0-2.
That was a sudden illness for Miss Washburn, wasn't it?
It was.
Probably last another 24 hours or so.
Came up quickly, and we hope that Therese is going to be okay. She's a huge Cardinal fan.
By guarding both lines. I'm not a big fan of that. First and third.
Here's a 1-2 pitch.
There's that breaking ball we talk about.
And that time he rung him up. Strikeout of Pujols.
It's the crew chief, and Mr. Welke says, Albert, you went too far. And I think there's no doubt he did. That is Tim Wilkie.
Holiday homered last night, and tonight a walk and run scored, a pair of strikeouts. And Grant and Therese are great Cardinal fans that have been coming here for years, and that's why we want to make sure that Therese is okay. Season ticket holders, and make sure that they get down here as soon as they can.
Knowing how caring you are with all season ticket holders, you probably give them a ride. Not only does he have that wicked breaking ball, but then he's got a mid-90s fastball to go with it. Batters are hitting sub-200 against him. A lot of strikeouts, and he's been a real find for the Pirates.
A 3-0 pitch. 3-1.
You see another fastball here, and then if you get the count 3-2, you'd probably throw the breaking ball. It's the 8th inning last night that Matt Holliday delivered a 3-run bomb to secure the victory. Threw the breaking ball there on 3-1. Good pitch, gets a strike call. Now you've got Matt real confused. Sometimes people think that when you throw 2-2, you'll throw on 3-2. Either one are outstanding pitches, so you're not afraid to throw either one.
A 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. He did it again and just missed.
Could have gone either way, yeah.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals.
Maybe Lance Berkman could be the hero in the 8th inning. Sitting on 29 home runs, 79 RBIs, and a .290 average. Maybe the comeback player of the year in the National League.
Homered on the first night of the homestand. What are they looking at? Even Doman was looking at it. Someone that caught both their eyes. One out, runner at first, and the first pitch to Berkman. Drilled out to deep right. At the track, at the wall, gone! Two-run homer, Berkman! The Cardinals go on top. Number 30.
How sweet is that? Holliday delivered the big blow yesterday, had a 1-run lead, and then he secured it with a 3-run bomb. Here, Berkman gets a fastball, just turns on it, and launches it into the Cardinal bullpen. 2-run home run gives the Cardinals their first lead of the night. 5-4 Redbirds.
Fans want a curtain call.
We haven't had many of those this year, have we? And it's nice to see one, and nice to see Berkman deliver in that situation. Let's add on now.
What a year for Berkman. 399 feet, that home run.
Clutch home run right there.
6th time he's done it, 30 or more home runs. First time since 2007 that he's hit 30. Interesting that you don't see anybody up in the bullpen. No Mott, no Salas.
Berkman, 4th on the all-time switch hitters list in home runs, down with 357.
Depending how long he plays, Al, he is going to be putting up numbers for a switch hitter that will give him consideration as one of the all-time great switch hitters that ever played the game.
If he can get 400 plus, it's already, in 4th place. Eddie Murray, the Hall of Famer, switch hitter, has over 3,000 hits and over 500 home runs. What would Mickey Mantle have done if he could have stayed healthy?
Yeah. I don't know if you'd want to say he's resurrected his career here in St. Louis. I think you'd want to say that he's finally healthy again.
I think that's the biggest point. And remember, a lot of his problems started last year where with a knee surgery in spring training and rushed himself back, trying to help his ball club, and probably was detrimental to his personal well-being. And then getting traded to the Yankees and really playing sparingly, that's something he's never done before. Just kind of a wasted year for him.
1-2 the count on Molina.
I mean, there's no way anybody could predict the numbers he's put up this year, but you felt like, 1, he was going to be healthy. 2, he was going to come to this environment and thrive in it. And whatever he had left, he was going to get the most out of his ability.
I thought, Al, he would have a solid year, and I mean solid 15, 20 home runs, but 30? And then after watching him in spring training, I thought there's no chance at 30. He even at one point said to me, he said, if I don't start hitting, they're going to cut me. This was in spring training. Good hustle by Molina down the line. Lance Berkman, number 30. Cardinals on top 5-4. 5-4 in favor of the Redbirds, even though they've been out hit 7-6, trying to make it 2 in a row over the Pirates. And a lot of changes for the Cardinals.
Scalzo's at third base. Schumacher goes from second to right field. Terrio's at second. Remember, John Jay stayed in the game to play center. And Kyle McClellan will get a chance. He'd be the winning pitcher.
Xavier Paul.
Xavier Paul, the pitcher, looked like Jason Mott warming up here behind McClellan.
.094 pinch hitting this year with an RBI and 16 strikeouts for Xavier Paul. Good start here. It's popped up. Who wants it for Kyle, hustling after it. Calls off to Scalzo. 1 away.
Much better angle for the shortstop. Kyle McClellan's retired all 4 batters he's faced.
Tabata will be the hitter.
Dan, it's great the Cardinals have scored 5 in this ball game, but all 5 runs come on home runs. 3-run home run, 2-run home run, but somewhere in between, you like to keep on adding on by manufacturing some runs.
1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. McClellan working quickly here.
Like I said, he stands to be the winner, but he's also pitching in the 9th inning, showing he can handle that.
Schumacher, or rather Terrio, 2 away. Let's turn to our player of the game, Lance Berkman, with a 2-run homer back in the 8th. Our Budweiser player of the game.
Maybe this is a little run you can get on. A couple emotional victories. You can get the final out here. Build on it a little bit. Look at the crowd. They're really getting into it. They've enjoyed the Willie McGee bobblehead. But the best promotion is winning baseball.
Strike 2 on Alex Presley.
Jake Westbrook a little credit. He did go 6+ innings, 4 runs, but kept his team right there within reach.
Breaking ball struck him out. The Cardinals never had a lead until that man went deep moments ago, and they hold on for the 5-4 win.
Great win for the team. Berkman delivers in the clutch. As I said, Westbrook kept his team there in a position to come from behind, and they come in behind, and a great job by Kyle McClellan retiring all 6 men he faced.
Berkman, number 30 to put the Cardinals on top. Over 40,000 here for Willie McGee night. Treated to a big win. McClellan, 2 scoreless innings. Some smiles from Willie.